Welcome to a Drop Tent Media production.
The Porcupine with Adam Nutter.
Yo, what's up, brother and sister bears? Welcome to the Porcupine. I am Adam Nutter, but you probably know that already. So what's up? Thanks for hanging with me. Sorry, I'm trying to. My Twitter is blowing. I sent out the dumbest fucking tweet in the world, and those are always the ones that fucking just blow up my fucking feed, and I can't focus on what I'm trying to do for the show. I said, without looking it up, tell me how wind works, because I guarantee no one knows how wind works. I don't know how it works. I still don't really know how it works. People told me, but I don't really believe them. It's the sun? That's the answer? No fucking way. I don't know. Anyway, guys, you should go buy a shirt for me. Go buy a shirt. I promise I won't ask questions about the wind because I don't know them. But go buy a shirt at droptent.com/store. You got the white series. You got the black series. You got your Disobey Your Local Nutter shirt from artwork by Top Lobster himself. Go there, droptent.com/store. You can also get these Drop 10 hoodies too, just the network. They're pretty they're champion hoodies. They're really fucking comfortable. Go get them. That, again, follow me at Adam Nutter on all the stuff over here. Follow me at Adam Nutter. And then the shows, I'll be at the Delaware Pennsylvania Convention, Jesus Christ, the Delaware Libertarian Convention this Saturday, 7:00 show. I think it's sold out though, so sorry. If I'm going to see you there, come say hi to me afterwards. What's up? Then the next one I want to plug is April 16th, back at the Pop-In. That's the show that Neil and myself run. Neil Wood and myself up right by Philly and Chalfont, Pennsylvania. 2 shows, 7 and 9:30. Natalie Cuomo's headlining. You guys know her from Gas Digital and she's on the road. She headlines all over the country. Droptent.com/events for those tickets. And then April 30th, I'll be up in New Hampshire at the Shell headlining that. I think it's like Portsmouth, New Hampshire area. So go get your tickets at, again, droptent.com/events for all your tickets. All right, I'm done plugging my shit. Oh my God, I'm out of breath. All right, guys, my guest for today, he is running for Senate in Pennsylvania. So give it up for my man, Erik Gerhardt. What's up, man? What's up, brother? How are you?
I'm good, man. A hectic day, but get some politicking done this afternoon now.
Fuck yeah. Do you know how wind works?
Actually, they have that whole polar vortex, which is just like a giant hurricane on the North Pole and South Pole. And as it keeps spinning, it keeps bringing fresh air and waves of new rain and all that around with it, with the difference in the temperature. So,
I mean, better than the sun. I don't like that answer, but they told me a lot of people said the sun. And I don't know if they're fucking with me or not.
I mean, some of the patterns might have something to do with the sun, but I think it's something that our planet's always kind of had. It gets hectic, it calms down, and yes, it rains.
Yeah, it does rain. It does rain and it snows. All right, Erik, I guess the big question is, why put yourself through this? Why are you going to run for Senate, and put yourself through this nightmare that is politics?
Well, it's a bigger nightmare when you lose control of it. And, we've been losing control and losing freedoms for years now. It's been worse in the last 2 years, to the point of I just can't take it anymore. I'm not going to sit back and be complacent and let them just do whatever they want to do. Everybody that I talk to, all my clients, all want new things, new change, new people, new perspectives, younger people, not every old degenerate person right out of the old folks' home, where they should be in the old folks' home because they can't speak a proper sentence or even complete an idea. If they even have an idea. I mean, all the stuff they've been adding and doing for the last few years is just like, why? Like, it makes no sense to like the people of America that why they're doing it. I mean, libertarians in general, it's just like taxation is theft, and that's is true. I mean, every time they take another percentage out of your wallet, you're that much closer to slavery again. And it's just like, I can't take it anymore. Like, we need our money back. We need to live free and do what we want to do and be happy.
Yeah.
I can't like I said, I can't take it no more. So I'm throwing my hat in the ring. I got plenty of ideas for all kinds of stuff. I've been pitching them. I was out in Pittsburgh. I don't even know if it was last week or not, but it was Fetterman and Connor Lamb and Kenyatta and a couple other Democrats, and there was supposed to be a whole slate of Republicans, but only one showed up. So, oh well, I'm gonna handle what I got to do.
So was it, I would say, the COVID tyranny that pushed you over the edge finally to make a
No,
stand?
I ran for president in 2020. Like I
Okay.
was already ready. I was like, everybody's like, why are you running for president? Like you don't have any like background in this. Like, yeah, I have no background whatsoever. Like when I was thinking about running for president, I was probably like 14 years old in the Boy Scouts, sitting by a campfire. I was like, I think I should run for president. But I mean, I was 14. I'm like, I'd be 35 at least for that. I had too much time on my hands to be sitting there worrying about that. So I went and mastered my craft. And then when it came time I completed the promise to myself to run for president, of which it couldn't have been a better time because the hectic Knicks was already just starting. And then now we're fully engulfed by dumb shits. And yeah, like I said, it's a perfect time for me to just get out there and do what needs to be done and spread some liberty.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's funny. He's like 35 is the age for president. And you're a kid. You're like, that's so old. And now I am 35, and I'm like, oh, it should be older. Like I definitely should be older. I'm dumb.
I think it's a good age. I mean, 35, you've seen a lot of shit and you've lived a lot of shit.
That's true.
And you get that perspective of what life is. It's like when like they want to lower the age for voting to like 16. I was like, when I was 16 is 2 years older. When I was thinking for that, I was an idiot. Everybody's an idiot at that age. Like, you can't even drive a car yet properly, and it takes years to learn that.
Well, we all know that's a ploy for the left to get more votes their way.
Oh, definitely.
There's no one on the right or in the libertarian circle who's like, we should have 16-year-olds vote. It's only the left who's like, we should have fucking 16 years old. We should kill babies and have 16 years old votes. That's what the left's about. So all right, so you've been just in the game for like a bit then, like fuck the system, fuck the state, fuck all this shit.
Well, I was looking at both the other parties, and everybody's like, you should run Republican. I'm like, I want to run with something that's a conscience that I agree with. And then I found myself looking into libertarians and their values and stuff, and I'm like, I agree with all these things, and they're so corrupt already. It's like, do I want to be with the crooks, or do I want to blaze my own trail and something with I agree with? And I mean, some of the viewpoints in libertarians I might not agree with, but for the bulk of it, I'm right on board with it.
Yeah. So okay, so then you're officially campaigning, I guess now, right? Like that's official. What? Well, I'm assuming you're start doing more and more. Like I wouldn't really consider this is like a informal Q&A. I mean, it's whatever. But like I'm assuming you do more and more like official in person tried Q&As or debates. I'm sure you're gonna get a lot of fucking questions fielded your way.
I had an interview with a DJ up in New York who wanted to put a coalition together, and the questions he asked me was like kind of blew my mind. It was just like the one question was like, how do you feel about the trans community living in public housing? How would you fix that? I'm like, I didn't even know that was an issue.
Is that an issue?
That's what I didn't think it was an issue, but I obviously there's enough of an issue that he wanted to bring it up to be a topic. I'm like, truthfully, I know nothing on that. I mean, the whole thing with the trans rights and everybody being in sports, I mean, that's as depth as I know about it. I mean, if there's an issue where they're in public housing and they want to get out because they feel discriminated or they're not making enough money, I'm like, pretty much there's 10 million jobs out there. There's plenty of work. It's just you got to do the jobs you don't want to start. You don't get the top dollar, high paying job right off the bat, especially with no education. But if you work at it, you'll make the money you want to make as long as you have a goal, you set it, and you work toward it. But the fact that they're in public housing and they feel like the world is pushing them down, you get as much effort as you put in. I mean, you got to work hard, and it doesn't get easier. It only gets harder usually.
Yeah,
As
no,
I
for
say,
sure.
more money, more problems. It just keeps on coming, and you either roll with the punches, and they're already got like a leg down in a way in that because they're confused about what their gender they should choose or this, that, and the other thing. And I mean, I they were talking about, would you sign on to a bill for non-mutilation of little kids? And I was just like, well, if you think about it, like a, a kid's born trans and they have both parts male and female. There's no reason why at a young age, 4, 5, 6, or 7, the parents should be forcing them to make that decision. That's a life altering situation. Like they should at least grow into technically adulthood or their teens where before they make that decision and make that decision themselves. Other than that, I mean, you got parents that are making their kids forcefully get sex changes because they wanted a girl or they wanted a boy, and that's child abuse to me. I mean,
Yeah,
and then
we
they make
talk.
them.
No, I agree. We actually talked about it on the podcast a little bit last night. This exact issue. And I'm just gonna repeat myself. So sorry for everybody who was listening last night. But like it's like it's child abuse. And if you look at studies, most kids grow out of that feeling.
Mhm.
And so it's like so we all agree that we can't send kids to war. They can't drink it to a certain age. We all agree you shouldn't fuck kids. Well, most of us agree you shouldn't fuck kids, right? All because of why? They're not old enough to make lifelong decisions except this one thing.
Yeah,
That's dumb as fuck. Like
exactly.
it's dumb as fuck. Like yeah, I'm not buying. I'm not falling for it. Sorry. But
Mhm.
I guess my question to you is what is going to be your number one biggest issue that you're going to try to drive home to the people or to get elected or whatever?
I mean, I'm big on education. I mean, that's big to me. The whole tax situation where they want to keep pushing taxes up. Right now, I'm working on a tax plan to help small businesses be small businesses and entrepreneurs to get that startup that they need. Like right now, I think I have the wording as it's like, um, if you have less than like 2 employees, you would get double deductions or triple deductions. I'm still in the process of working it out myself, but if you do get the double deductions and you're not a franchise, we're not talking big bulk chains and stuff like that. We're talking startup small businesses. You have less than 2 employees, you get double, triple deductions. So that brings your how much you have to pay in taxes down to zero, because that would be the key is you need that startup money because no bank's going to give any small business a startup loan. They'll give you money to go to college, hundreds of thousands of dollars, but they won't give you 10 grand to start up your business. So how are you going to actually get that incentive to be an entrepreneur, be the competition to all these big box change companies and this, that, and the other thing is you need that tax break. And I mean, with just giving those deductions right there, it'll open the opportunity for them to build their business. And then once they get to a point when they want to have 3, 4, 5 or more employees, they had the opportunity to get out of that and then they can build into that and then they lose the tax breaks. And then when you shift into that aspect of where you build beyond 2 employees, you add in another part of the tax thing that I wanted to add in is that everybody was asking, how do you get like benefits and stuff like that? Well, you give the companies another tax break on top of that. So you roll it back the dice back to where it would be for your bracket or whatever. But then if you give your employees the tax break for healthcare, paid leave, and this, that, and the other thing, you get another tax break. And then on top of that, for like the top tier companies, you're talking unions, franchises, this, that, and the other thing. I mean, they've been losing benefits year after year with recontracting and all that. I mean, you put another stipulation in, and if they give them top tier like healthcare, dental, vision, no copays, and you just give those big companies like a 0.5%. But if you're talking billions of dollars, that 0.5% equates to enough where they could give back to their employees, which it's pretty much the employees are the blood and butter of every business. So I mean, if you treat them right, they'll treat you right. They'll work harder. You'll get more out of them. I mean, when I go out for my construction business, like when I have guys working for me, their lunch is included. Anything they want in the morning, breakfast, that's that and the other, it's included. That shouldn't come out of their pay. If they're working for pay XYZ, they should get that at the end of the day, not or the end of the week. And everything in between, like the lunches and stuff, like I pay for that just because if we eat good and I'm making money, you eat good. I don't want anybody to go hungry because they can't afford to pay their bills.
Yeah, that's admirable. So you said education too was a big
Yes, 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 yes.
issue. So what about education exactly? Because that was a good, I mean, breakdown of like taxes and businesses and how to help stimulate that again. Because obviously,
Mm,
fucking these scumbags with the COVID lockdowns, hurt.
mhm,
So it's like it's crazy. Like just I live in Newtown, Pennsylvania, which is a kind of an affluent area overall. Like it's more upper class, but like I'm not, but like it
mhm,
is around me. But like it's weird driving around, like seeing it, like just so many businesses is closed here. Like people who have
mhm.
money and can spend it, and you're like, damn, dude. So if it's like that here, the fuck is it like in all these places that can't afford this shit? So I can only
Exactly.
imagine. I mean, how bad it is as a business. So yeah, hopefully that it's a good idea that could help get these businesses because like also if the business isn't closed down, I also been seeing like a lot of help wanted signs, like a lot.
Mhm. Oh yeah,
So
they're everywhere. I mean, like I
yeah,
said, there's 10 million open jobs still. They keep saying they had all these great job numbers, and it's like, how can you have great job numbers if you killed 10 million jobs and those people don't want to go back to work, even though the wage rate's going up. But I mean, that's the whole taking care of the welfare system. It's like they'd rather get that free check instead of actually working because they see the effort they would put in to make that amount of money is 20 times harder than sitting there at home. And it's just like, this is a horrible idea. I mean, and the whole thing, they want to keep putting these new social spending plans in. It's like, that's just even more welfare of which people are going to take advantage of, which costs us so much money more, of which that raises taxes. And it's like, it's not sustainable. It's just not sustainable whatsoever. Like, if you give money back to the people through tax breaks, they have more money to spend. They can pay for the things they need. You don't have to give them free money. And then their life goes on when you change like dynamics. Like I like one of the other taxes I'd like to end is just property tax. Just end it. Nobody should
right.
lose their house. You should have the equity that you put into your house for paying for it for 30 years. And then if you don't have that property tax, I did the math. It was like if you have 30 years in your house, you're saving like $300,000 over a lifetime for just like a average low income tax break, of which that equity goes back into the house. That equity goes into small businesses, excuse me. And you can actually build something from that instead of just a slow degradation of everything you have until it just drives you into submission where you just give up, of which a lot of people had to give up. Their small businesses that went out of business everywhere. Me and my buddy were talking about it the other day. When he was a young man, he's 50 now. There was 30 hardware stores going down one main drag. Now there's two, and
Yeah.
those are the ones that survived, of which they're not doing good because Walmart, Home Depot, and all these big box stores out compete them for prices, and they have to charge 5 to 10% more, and that even 5%, 10% more right now, nobody can spend it unless they use them companies religiously just to keep going, which I'm sure they appreciate it, but that's still money out of the contractor's wallet at that. I mean, I'm even shopping around for prices, just trying to keep my costs low so I can get the jobs and have the clients be happy. I mean, they see the price tag and it's like sticker shock. It's like, oh my, like
Yeah.
$10,000. Like, isn't this like a $2,000-3,000 job? Maybe 2 years ago it was.
That's crazy.
Mhm.
So actually, we do have to go back to the school thing. We do have a question. What would you do to lower school taxes?
Well, there's many different ways with the school taxes. So finally, we'll get to the education ideas that I have. So, like, my whole thing is education is almost broken in its way itself, where they're just pushing these kids through. I mean, it needs a fundamental reshaping of how the education system works. I mean, they need more of an open floor plan for the. I'm more of like thinking about like high school. When you go to high school, they should have almost like a college setup so that the kids learn independence and learn to take care of themselves, learn to problem solve themselves. They set their own schedules. The teachers get a little bit of a break where it's not like we're setting a structure where we have to teach one way. It's block scheduling and kids just shuffle in and out the door and you do your spiel over. I mean, like I said, I'm more for like a old schoolhouse method where the kids go to school, they know the teacher, the parents know the teacher. I'm for them giving them that 15,000 to the students so that they could pay the teacher, and it say a class of like 30, you're looking somewhere like $480,000 if you add all that up. That's more than a teacher makes right now. Get them the money they need. They take the school classroom that they have, they can use that as a schoolhouse style where they just intimately know their students, they teach them, and they get the respect that they deserve because they help each of their students because they know how each one works because they know them intimately. But like I said, they have that 480,000. They just rent the rooms back from the school systems. I mean, we don't really need the school system and unions and this, that, and the other thing taking all this control and taking all this money out of it because that's all it's going to do is just drive the cost up to it's not sustainable. And as what we've seen is private schooling is cheaper anyway, and they get a better education from public school. And it's more, like I said, it's more in depth, it's more personal.
Yeah, no, public schools are absolute trash. I mean, it's
Oh
like
yeah.
I mean, like Michael Malice says, like it's like the only place a lot of times a kid will ever encounter violence in his life or their life. It's like in public school. I mean, that teachers are shit mostly, not all of them, but most of them are. No one gives a shit. You have 1,000 administrators who are just wasting money. They don't need to be there in public schools. Would homes? I'm a big homeschool fan. I think if you have the means to homeschool, you should. Is that something that like you're for, or like? Or would you try to implement that? I know you can't implement it more, but would you try to push that more? If you
Well,
were
that's the whole thing, like giving the money to the students instead of the schools.
yeah.
And then they have the option where if they want to go to a private school, they can go to a private school because it's already partially paid for. Um, if the homeschooling people, I know a lot of people who do the homeschooling, if they had that $15,000 per kid, and like usually they have 2, 3 kids, I mean, $45,000. I mean, that they could afford a really good education with field trips and all that. I mean, they could have an amazing education through that. And my one of my other clients, she teaches her 2 kids, and they're smart as a whip. I mean, they can read, they can write, they can do this, that, and the other thing. They might have not the best social skills because they're just by themselves, and then they have the kids in the neighborhood. But I mean, they have the kids in the neighborhood, which is no different than school anyway. They got the bullies and everything you deal
Right.
with everywhere else. So I mean, there's multiple different avenues. It's just like like pretty much the libertarian principle: get the government out of everybody's business and let people just handle their own business, and things will smooth themselves out. I mean, do some legislation where it gives them the ability to be free and have their own thought process. But like what we have right now, it's just indoctrination camps, and that the education they're getting is horrible. I mean, home ec's gone, trade schools are gone. I'm a big proprietor of trade schools. I pitched that at the forum last week of we should be giving incentives for people who go to trade school. I mean, they keep saying we need skilled workers. Why aren't we putting initiatives out that they can go get the training to be a skilled worker? It just makes no sense to me other than they want to outsource everything and cut them blank checks to the unions.
Well,
It's just crazy.
I wonder if like more young men are doing that because I think like college students is like 60-something% women now.
Mhm.
Right. So either that means guys just like fuck college or like they're doing something else. I don't know. I don't know the numbers, but like, I mean, I'm curious as to maybe that is like a theme or a trend going forward now where everybody's like, you know what? I don't need college. I mean, it's especially even with tech, all like tech jobs and like coding. Like, if
Mhm.
you're a coder, you don't need to go to college for that. If you just learn, you could do that from your house and learn and be awesome. Like, and like,
Yeah.
wow, you have to go to Harvard to code? Like, no. Like, if that's your thing, that's your thing. So I think college is kind of fizzing out as important as it used to be. Also, like if you look at the COVID mask, and you had Harvard and Yale still charging like 50 grand, even though you couldn't go
Mhm.
to the campus, and you're like, what? But that's what the money. It's for that. It's for the experience of going to Harvard and Yale, not to sit on my house, have some asshole
Well,
professor from Harvard yell at me. You
yeah,
know?
it's kind of just a name. I mean, it's like
Yeah.
I went to Harvard, I went to Yale, and like
Right.
you paid. It's like buying a BMW.
Right.
You're paying for the name and the prestige of the school. You might not know a damn thing going there. I mean, shit. Where'd Biden go? He went to one of those big ritzy
Yeah.
fucking schools. It's like what did he learn? 50
I mean,
years in the government, he still hasn't done nothing that's helped anybody.
wasn't Bush Jr. a Rhodes Scholar from fucking yeah, right? He was Skull and Crossbones kid, right? Like, yeah, where his dad went. Like, a Rhodes Scholar is supposed to be like the super hard, prestigious, honorary academic fucking title, and it went to that dummy who couldn't
Mhm.
say nuclear. You know, it's like, all right, and how serious is all this academic bullshit?
Well, it's crazy. I mean, they use that pretty much the draft dodge to get out of the wars, and it's like now they're talking about they want to send women to war. It's just like
Yeah, it passed.
what smart person wants to? And I'm saying I have no problem if women want to be in the armed
Right.
services.
Go
That's
for
their
it.
choice. But like right now, they're talking about drafting and this, that, and the other thing. Like that takes the whole choice thing out of it. That's now force, of
Well,
which
it's conscription,
you're
right?
gonna
Yeah.
yeah, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
the draft, conscription. But sending kids that don't even know what life is, male or female, to war and just to be fodder. I mean, you're screwing them up for the rest of their lives or something like that. I mean, I had a incident when I was a little kid. Like there was a bunny in my backyard, and I had one of them little like dart gun pellet guns. And I was just going around shooting squirrels and this, that, and the other thing. I wasn't trying to kill any of them. I was just like, being annoying because it
Yeah,
wasn't a
yeah.
powerful gun whatsoever. There was no CO2. It was just pull the lever back and whatever force that has is what it has. It was for a dartboard at like 10 feet. And I shot this little bunny, man, and it hit it right in the eye, and the thing's blood spurting everywhere. I felt so bad. It was just like,
Yeah.
I didn't know what to do. I panicked. I mean, you're going to send some people over to kill people, and those people probably don't want to die either. They don't even want to be. I mean, half the Russian armies right now, they're fighting with each other because they're like, why are we here? And the other country, Ukraine, they're defending themselves left and right just because that's their home. And that if they, like I said, if somebody comes here to America to disturb us in our home, we're going to fight tooth and nail too.
Of
That's
course. Yeah.
any country. I mean, Afghanistan, no matter where you go,
Yeah, yeah.
it doesn't matter where your home is. That's your home. You will defend it with everything you got. And I used a Star Wars reference. It was just like, the Empire came in and they killed Luke Skywalker's uncle and stuff in the beginning of the first Star Wars. And then he was labeled a rebel, of which, like, technically that's terrorists right now. They just say they're terrorists, but
Right.
they became rebels because we went over there and bombed their cities, their families, that took the lives of people they cared about. And that instantly radicalized them. I mean, bad blood just keeps making more bad blood, and it's just never ending, especially if they just never stop dropping bombs and killing people. And then they want us to fight their wars if they're just pulling the trigger. It's just like it's not right at all.
No, it's the dumbest thing. People are like, they hate us for our freedom. It's like, yeah, no, they
Mhm,
hate us 'cause we bombed their babies for 40 fucking years.
mhm,
Like, that's why. I think
exactly.
we also be mad at that too. If if last time I checked. Again, I kind of double booked myself tonight, so I kind of we kind of have to cut this a little shorter than usual.
It's
So
all good.
let's do like 5 more minutes. But I mean, you kind of talked about your most important issue going forward.
Mhm,
But what do you think about like let's say you get in. Let's say you
mhm.
win. You win Senate. What's your first thing you're doing when you get in the fucking doors?
Well, like I said, I'm writing this tax proposal out right now. Like I'd like to have it
What's
ready.
the second
That
thing? Or
the
tax things
second thing.
first. What's the second
Well,
thing?
I'd go be going right after education and trying to revamp that. I mean, there's going to be hundreds of bad bills they're trying to pass right now. I'm gonna be shutting them all down and bringing light what needs to be brought to light. Like I'm no bullshit. I'm gonna go in there and literally blow up their space, rattle their cages, and make them do the job properly the way they should. If they don't like it and don't want to communicate with me, I ain't got time for that. But I'm gonna blow up every bit of their bills. I mean, Build Back Better is horrible. They want to put what those automatic breathalyzers in cars by
Yeah,
2020.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
How many people that's gonna strand on the side of the road And then what if they just kill switch it? Like we had the trucker convoy there, where people start protesting with their cars peacefully, and they're like, oh well, we're just going to turn off everybody's cars and everybody's stranded, and we'll just repo everybody's stuff. It's like the amount of freedoms and liberties they're stealing or trying to take over. It's just too much for me to, like I said, sit by and do nothing. I'll blow up all these bills. I'll talk as much shit as I want and try to bring the truth to the light.
Dude, that's what we need. We just need, like, again, mouthpieces and messengers out there, especially to hopefully we fucking get you elected. But if not, at least you could change minds of at least a decent amount of people. They could be like, you know what? Yeah, that guy's making some fucking sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is bullshit. This is some bullshit. Oh, yeah, tag. This is bullshit. Education is bad. You know, fucking. Oh yeah, the all these crimes that are victimless. Is bad. All that stuff. You know, hopefully you could turn the mind of people. Erik, where can everybody find you and like follow you or donate to your campaign if they want, like websites and all that good stuff?
Well, my website is Erik, the number 4PA.com. You could donate through there on my page. I'll be having the forum that I just did last week embedded into there. We got a newsletter you could sign up for. If you send me an email at erik4pa@gmail.com, we'll sign you up for the newsletter and let you know all the new current events. We got an event coming up on April 3rd at the Metropolitan here in Montgomery County. It's just a small little venue speaking event, $30 at the door. And then I'm going to try to get some recurring donations the day of. We got some cleanup events coming up in Boyertown, and a lot of things to be determined, of which we're trying to get set up so we can start promoting those things. But, slowly doing something here, there, and everywhere, and hopefully we can turn this into something.
And go follow your Twitter. It's at Erik4Senate on Twitter.
Now, all my links are at the bottom of my page. So, like, if you go to my page at erik4pa.com, you Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the links are hyperlinks at the bottom there. And like I said, if you sign up for the newsletter, you pretty much click on my face, and it will take you right to the site and let you get all the new updates.
Awesome. Everybody go fucking support Erik again. Sorry I had to cut this like a half hour short. I double booked myself weeks in advance. I'm a fucking mess. It's with comics. We're disasters. But Erik, thank you for doing this. This is fucking a great talk. Again, hopefully you're out there. You fucking get some votes, change some minds, and we'll see you on the campaign trail, hopefully. For everybody else, thanks for fucking hanging out. I think I'm coming back next week with Tyler Jenke from Pod Review, and we got I think Laura Matt Hackenberg's coming on for PA, running for governor, and also Tim McMaster, I think, coming on for lieutenant governor. We have a lot of good guests. Top Loss is coming back on. So look at it all for the future episodes. Again, everybody, peace. Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks for listening. Find Adam on social media, Twitter and IG at Adam Nutter, or Facebook and TikTok at Adam Nutter Comedy. And for podcasts and merch, check out www.droptent.com. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe so you never miss an episode.
This has been a Drop Tent Media Production.